I keep seeing the same comments flooding my videos over and over again. When's the TRX coming back? What engine will it have? Will it beat the Raptor R? Will there be a Redeye version? And while I've answered all these questions before, I think it's time to run it back again with the latest info. But I want to flip the conversation today because there's something that people aren't asking based on my last video with the Durango Hellcat. Because what if I told you that in some states, you would not be able to order the 2026 Ram TRX at all? Now that I've got your attention, let's get right into it because that is the real question that everyone should be asking. Okay, I'm over 50,000 friends, and the 54% of you guys who watch these videos over and over again but haven't hit the subscribe button, help a butter out, join the channel, and let's get into this video because as you guys know, I love the Ram TRX so much. I still have my old key. Let's shine it right there in the light. I still love this, and I would love to have a new one. But for this video right here, I'm noticing people have not been asking the right questions. So the 2026 Ram TRX, as I told you guys before in other videos, is going to come out in Q1 of 2026, just like with internal documentation that TK's Garage and myself have shared months ago publicly. That is in fact real news. But no one leaks more internal documentation than TK's Garage and myself. I don't think it even comes close because our dear sources are some of the best that there is, and we love them very, very dearly. Can you not see that heart? It is like dark. Yeah, there we go. There goes my heart right there. But even with just the sources leaking us documentation and stuff, we have people telling us as well that the TRX has already started building mules. I've already made videos telling you guys about that over a month ago, saying that how there was a 6.2 liter supercharged HEMI V8 that was rolled around by a bunch of engineers and stuff, and it was rolled around the plant, and they had it put down the assembly line to go get all the stuff done, where they got like a transmission made it to it, I think a transfer case on it, and they had like all the wire stuff done to it. They got pulled off the assembly line and rolled to a little secret area where they build mules and like future vehicles that they gonna come down the production line sometime in the future. And then I had another video I tell you guys that yeah, they started building the first Ram TRX actual mules, engine going inside of a chassis, and they basically put an RHO body on top of a 6.2 liter supercharged HEMI V8 engine. Love them engines.
Woo! 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 Ow! Love that money.
And they basically had those engines go inside of RHO mules and RHO bodies and rolled off and then driven off, I think going back to the circular area, and they have built multiple mules. And all that just a long way of saying that, yeah, the TRX is definitely coming. You've already had Antonio Filoso who leaked on a call with investors that the TRX is coming back. We got mules getting built. We got those supercharged HEMI V8s getting, they're basically showing up at the production plant and stuff. So all signs point to the TRX coming back sooner rather than later. Now, when I know the next question is going to be like, so when is exactly the announcement going to be for the TRX? Now, I have no idea exactly when the announcement is going to be, but I have a very good feeling about October. Like there's something about October, not just Halloween, but I have a very, very good feeling about October that we may see something about the Ram TRX. I'm not gonna say how I know this, but I don't kiss and tell. Hopefully by October, we'll hopefully hear something about this. I mean, it's gonna happen one way or another. It makes a lot of sense for it to happen maybe around the October timeframe because just a couple weeks later, it's gonna be SEMA and stuff. So I fully expect to see a desert running TRX in the desert at SEMA. So that's what I'm thinking. October, we're gonna hear about this, and then maybe order opens up around November, December, and then the production starts around January, and then you probably start seeing deals around February, March, kind of around the same time frame as it was when it came out for 2021 model year. Now, I know the next thing gonna be everyone's mind is what engine is going inside of the 2026 Ram TRX. And I'm gonna tell you this. So let me tell you this little story. Now, Ram told journalists at their little private little powwow that they basically gonna bring back vehicles the same way as it was in 2024, because that's a loophole for them to get around getting stuff like recertified, crash tested, all that stuff, right? So that's why you see on the Ram 1500, it's only gonna have a 5.7 liter Hemi with the e-torque system for the 2026 model year for now, because that's how they got around having to get everything crash tested, recertified and stuff. And if you look at the Durango, Dodge snuck one through on everybody, no one really paid attention, and they snuck back into the Durango 392. No one was suspecting it was going on. I don't really cover Durango news, so I wasn't really snooping for it and stuff. That's why I kind of missed it. But they did basically bring the 392 Durango back because it was offered in 2024 model year and it's coming back with the same horsepower. So you got the Ram 1500 coming back, same way 2024. The Durango 392 coming back, same way 2024. So what do you think is gonna happen with the TRX? The TRX is gonna come back literally the same exact way it was, horsepower-wise, in the actual 2026 Ram TRX initially. And I gotta say this, initially, because there are gonna still be people who gonna basically just want the regular powered 72 horsepower Ram TRX. But I'm just gonna say this, that does not mean that they're gonna be either stage kits coming to increase the power, that maybe it might have a horsepower bump, because I know with just the changes in the hood or whatever, that what the 2018, 2019 Challenger and Chargers got like a 10 horsepower bump. So maybe we'll see like 710, 720s, whatever. But I don't see like a big, huge horsepower bump when the TRX comes out. I hope I'm wrong about that, but given all the data from the Durango 392 coming back with the same horsepower, the Ram 1500 E-Torque coming back with the same horsepower, logic dictates, I'm like Spock now, logic dictates that the TRX is gonna come back with the same exact horsepower as it was in 2024. Ow, that actually hurts. I don't know how in the world, was that Leonard Nimoy can actually do that? It's gonna come back around the same amount of horsepower, and so technically it's gonna be underpowered from the actual Raptor R. But I think real major selling point is gonna be that if you buy the TRX, it's gonna be a heck of a lot cheaper than a Raptor R, which is typically around like $150,000. Where's my phone at? Do I not have my phone? I'm wearing my bag as a fanny pack right now. I'm gonna cut the video and give you a price.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, looking on Ford's configurator, a Raptor R's base price is $113,820, which obviously I don't believe that, because dealers are going to apply that that V8 tax on a Raptor R. So I know typically dudes were getting these things for around like 130, 140, but hopefully the price fell down. And so I'm hoping that with this case right here, that hopefully that the TRX is going to be less powerful than the Raptor R, that they're going to make it a heck of a lot cheaper than the Raptor R. Like, I would love to see Ram bring the TRX back under 100 grand. Like, hopefully maybe 10 grand more expensive than the actual, I can't even think of the name of the truck, the RHO. Like, I'm hoping that the TRX is 10 grand more expensive than the RHO, because at the end of the day, we all know that the price of the TRX went up only because of Tavares, and they want to get all this extra profit out of that truck. I mean, it's crazy to think that from 2021, the TRX was $69,000 for a base truck, and then by 2024, with zero changes other than an instrument cluster and going to Uconnect 5, that dictated that the TRX went from a $69,000 base price all the way to around like what, $95,000. That's a lot of money just for a different instrument cluster and a daggone weaker infotainment system. But I'm just saying that I hope that maybe the TRX comes in and Ram just shocks everybody and make the TRX like $79,000. And I think that'll be just a way to literally just throw the wind, or take the wind out of everybody, and they look 80 grand starting, boom, bam, done. And then you option it up and you can easily make the truck 100 grand, but for a base one, 80 grand. And that'll be like a very, very great thing. Because if you've seen what Dodge did, Dodge basically did the same thing with their Charger. The cheapest Charger with a 420 horsepower Hurricane is like what, $49,000. And the most expensive Charger right now, an electric vehicle that's 670 horsepower, is what, $59,000. So a $10,000 swing from the first version of the Charger to the most expensive version of the Charger. And I hope for the RHO and the TRX, $69,000 base, $79,000 base for the actual TRX. So that's why I'm hoping that the Ram actually does this, because this would make a lot of sense, because you have the cheapest Charger, 420 horsepower, being $49,000. The most expensive Charger is 670 horsepower. An EV is only 10 grand more expensive. So you got like what, 420, 670, that's like a 250 horsepower swing for $10,000. The RHO, last time I checked, was 550 horsepower. TRX is only 72 horsepower, 550, 650, 750. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense for the TRX to be, well, hopefully less than 10 grand more expensive than the RHO. And they're essentially the exact same vehicle. We talked to Tim Knissis about that. Him saying that, yeah, the RHO and the TRX is basically the same exact vehicle, All this real difference is just the engine and the transmission. So,
and I like the feedback too. Like the TRX thing, honestly, I didn't know what you were gonna know. I didn't know.
oh yeah, the RXO going at 98.
Yeah, I keep on the TRX, but you know what I mean.
Same thing. It's just got an inline 6
It's the exact same thing.
It's I know.
The tune, the suspension different because of the weight. Other than that, it's the same thing.
It lifts up in the front quicker than.
With zero carb fines, there should not be a reason to have the TRX way more expensive than what it once was when it went out of production for like 96 grand. If it was like 79 grand and cheaper, I think that would sell like hotcakes and put Ram right back there on top. And I'd be like, ooh, I'm gonna go spec me one out. The 10 grand bump, I'll take that. But let me get into the last point I have in this video about the TRX. And if you want a 2020 TRX, if you live in certain states, you would not be able to get one. So if you guys remember, like I said earlier, with the TRX's horsepower for 2026, it's going to be limited, probably the same thing in 2024, based off of available data. Because that's what Tim Kniss has said for the other Ram trucks. That's what Dodge did with the Durango 392. And speaking of the Durango 392 coming back, when I did the video with the order guide that had the 5.7 Durango, the 392 Durango, and Durango Hellcat, you remember this one page I did a video on, the Durango Hellcat and the Durango 392 are both banned in California and other CARB states. So if you live in those states, you have a pretty high chance of not being able to order a 2026 Ram TRX, and your only option is going to be a Ram RHO with a Hurricane engine, because that engine is 50 state legal. Now, I asked Ram for clarification on this because I literally asked him, hey, look, since the since the Durango Hellcat and Durango 392 are banned in CARB states, and they have a 392 and a 6.2 supercharged HEMI engine in there, does that mean that the future TRX, would that be banned in CARB states as well too? And I cannot get an actual answer on the TRX because of that simple thing they normally do, that they cannot comment on future product and stuff. So the answer to this question is going to have to wait until the actual announcement of the TRX. I hope this is not the case. I hope the people who live in these CARB states can get a TRX, because I know a lot of guys who I've personally helped out in California find them cheaper TRXs, especially with that CARB stamp on there. I personally helped several people, well, probably more than several, probably at least about 20 some people who live in California, avoid that California tax. No dealers love to throw like 20, 30, 40, $50,000 on top of that vehicle. But I'm hoping that, there's something that Ram can do in order to get these trucks actually available to people who live in CARB states, right? Like I said, 392 Durango, Hellcat Durango, they're both banned. The TRX has the same jack engine in there, so it's reasonable to conclude that that vehicle is gonna be banned as well too. But that's basically it for this video, and hopefully I'm gonna answer on that situation, hopefully sometime sooner rather than later. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think the TRX coming back in 2026 is gonna be awesome? Do you guys think it should be as cheap as it was in 2021? Because I think a $10,000 price increase, or maybe even $5,000, $5,000 price increase for the TRX. Let us come back like a $74,000, and Tim Kniss cannot keep orders from happening. Like, no one would buy the RHO if the TRX was what, $74,000 out the daggone door for a base truck. But oh man, I think that'd just be awesome. But do you guys think that CARB is not going to allow the TRX to be sold in those states? And do you guys think that Ram might try to do a workaround? And like I said, that does not mean that a more powerful TRX is going to be coming in the near future, because I got another video that I'm going to make about a Redeye version of an SUV, and this one SUV comes with a Redeye in there. Oh boy, could you think of the possibilities of some more Redeyes coming down the pike, and hopefully a TRX. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. And if you want to find out about some secret stuff that I found out at Roadkill Nights, you watch this video right here. And until the next time, I'm out.